Hi guys, another episode in my series Charity Shop Gold or Garbage. Picked this one up today in a charity shop. Don't know if you can see that one, £2. First obvious thing is it's obviously radio controlled and there was no transmitter with it, so straight away that makes you think garbage. But on the other hand, we might be lucky. I've got a transmitter from another car, 27 megahertz. So we might be lucky. On the other hand, even if we're unlucky, there's going to be an electric motor in there that might be salvageable. Well, I'll be very surprised if it's not salvageable. And we've got some wheels, so they might be useful for something. So even if it doesn't work, it shouldn't be a dead loss. So we'll see how we go. Okay, first thing we'll do is put some batteries in it and see what happens. Nice little battery pack. It's actually in the on position anyway. No flashing lights or anything. No, looks like we're out of luck. There's nothing happening there at all. I mean, even if the controls worked in a different way, I'd still expect to get some sort of a result out of it. So that doesn't look very positive. So next step is take it apart. Well, that really was a struggle to get that apart. I had got all your screws undone, it was just very tightly stuck to these lugs on the side there. But with a gentle bit of persuasion it did eventually come apart. So, next question is, what have we got that we can use? Well, obviously that's the receiver. I might put a meter on a few places just to check that it's getting power to it and there's no loose wires. There's a nice little electric motor with a nice gearbox on it. So that should be useful for quite a few applications. That in itself is worth the £2 I've paid for it, as long as when I put some power on it, it works. So we'll have a look, see if I can get some power on it. There's nothing obviously wrong with it. No, doesn't look like it's been underwater or anything. And we've got another electric motor there. I've just got another gearbox attached to it. So yeah, I'll try and put a bit of power on it and see what we can do. This this little fella I've got here is off of a little remote controlled car, forwards and backwards. All it is 1.5 volt batteries. So if I just hold that down onto that motor, that's not bad. That's 1.5 volts, and that's driving pretty well. That's handy. Let's try the other one. So we got 2 good motors at least, and gearboxes, so that's positive. Just be interesting to see if there's actually anything happening with the radio receiver. Put the power pack back in. Next thing to do is check whether the power pack power is actually getting through. I have to dig my meter out. Just loosened the receiver so I can get to the back of the wires. But yeah, that's the power is actually getting through to the receiver. Just having a little poke around here, bypassing the actual receiver and just seeing what happens if I touch power onto the LED legs. And so well, we've got working LEDs. I'm sure that's exciting. I noticed down the bottom here there is some evidence of water, so it may have been out in the rain and died. Well, that was interesting. I was fiddling around here and I noticed some of the joints down here look like they've got water damage on them, or possibly just dry joints. Gave them a little bit of a push with my fingers, and now if I do that again, right, gonna have to admit a bit of bafflement here, confusion. I thought I'd spotted some dry joints down here, or at least water affected joints. I've resoldered all of them. No apparent difference, but when I just happened to touch one of the terminals on the back here, everything jumped into life. On the back of it there's only a resistor, and yet whatever I touch on that terminal, whether it's an insulated screwdriver or the probe off my meter, it doesn't matter what it is I touch it with, even if I think I'm completely insulated, everything jumps into life. So I've no idea what's happening there. Obviously some electronics expert could tell me if they really wanted to, but all I've done now is I've just soldered just a bit of wire on there. It's not terminated, it does absolutely nothing, and yet it works. If I just unsolder that bit of wire, nothing happens. Absolutely no idea what's going on there. I mean, I've got a vague idea, but not a real idea. Obviously I'm making that terminal either go high or low, and that's what's making it all work. So it's a bodge, but if I just solder that on there and do absolutely nothing else, that's not terminated on anything. It works. So I'm going to stick it all back together again, leave that hanging loose, and see if my grandchildren like playing with that car. If they don't like playing with it, I'll take it apart, and I've got a perfectly good engine and gearbox there, motor and gearbox, and another one there, so I'll gain two gearboxes that work absolutely fine. As I demonstrated earlier, it works off a 1.5 volt battery, so what more could I want? Either way, I win. So I'll put it back together and do a summary, but there we go. I can't explain why that works, no idea, but it works. Well, there we are, all back together. Managed to get all the screws in the right place, and all working. So, summary time. £2 it cost me. I've no idea how much one of these is brand new, but it's going to be more than £2. Obviously I've had to use my own transmitter that I've got off one of my other toy cars, but it works. Actually, I'm quite disappointed that it works, because, as I said, I'm very keen on the gearbox and engine, electric motor that's inside there. Say there's two of them in there. There's the main drive, and then there's the steering one. Both have got gearboxes on them. It's even got, as far as I can tell, yeah, 4 good rubberized wheels instead of cheap plastic things. So the bits would be handy for any project I wanted to make anyway. But I guess I'd better give the grandchildren the chance of using it as it is. So there we go. Charity shop, gold or garbage? I've got to say gold. £2, and with a bit of fiddling around inside, a working model. That was fun.